Thank you for joining me on another episode of Evolutionary Soul Towers, Inspirational Soul Food, where we help you to light the way to change on your soul path journey. I'm Desiree and so glad to be here with you to share another special channeled message from Spirit to help guide and support you on your self-discovery process. So let's talk a bit about how we get these messages. Prior to coming into these recordings, I go into a special meditation by which afterwards I then go into a special collective reading. All right. From those readings, I then write out the message that Spirit wants you to have based on the reading. From those readings, I generate a question for you to then take into your meditations for you to personally speak with Spirit about how Spirit is working in your life, okay, in your specific life, okay. That said, the question that I always come up with is in that right-hand corner, which you can see in this particular recording. That's the question. Now, let's talk a little bit about the reading because I want to take you through the actual reading and what Spirit wanted you to know in a very concise, clear way. And then we will actually go through the cards of the reading, okay? So here we go. I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll go through the cards. Spirit is shifting you into a new beginning as you end a major life cycle of restriction, heartache, hardship, lack, or loss. While Spirit is well aware of the intensity of the strife that this phase created in your life, know that divine timing is at hand. Thus, patience will be required through this healing and rejuvenation process that you've been going through after a very difficult cycle. And as you heal, divine will bring change and wholeness back to your spiritual and emotional bodies where your confidence and passion are suddenly reignited and reactivated, where you feel comfortable making solid, sound decisions and choices in your life, specifically as it pertains to forthcoming partnerships and or love offers when options may be presented. Okay, what a great message. All right, after all of that hardship, Spirit is balancing you out, both in your spiritual and emotional bodies, so that you're reinvigorated, having that passion again, having that confidence again that you need to move on through your journey, right? So let's look at some of the cards that we pulled for your reading. That'll give you some indication as to how I got that message. All right, here we go. The first card is trust the timing. All right, that's what we have to do. Trust the timing and have patience as we go through this healing process. As Spirit understands very much so that this has been a very difficult cycle that you've had to endure recently, and that it's time for you to heal. It's time for you to go through that healing process, that rejuvenation process after this very difficult cycle has ended, right? And thus, Spirit will suddenly bring back all of that passion in your emotional and spiritual bodies that has been suppressed, that has been, if you will, torn in the process that you were going through in your last very difficult very difficult cycle. Okay. And as Spirit brings you into that reigniting of the spirit and the emotional body, He's doing so that you can then have some solid decision-making processes when it comes to decisions that you'll have to make specifically around love. Okay? Let's look at the second card. Star bathing. All right? Here, this one is talking about activation, transmission. Okay? And this is where Spirit is bringing you into that place of, if you will, options that you may have. You know, you may have those options. And as such, you're going to have to make some decisions. as you grow and expand, as you grow on this journey. Okay. You may have to make some of those decisions. Okay. As you then make those decisions, you'll be bringing yourself into a place of your new beginnings. Okay. Right into your new beginnings. But Spirit is asking that you be patient, take those baby steps, understand that Spirit is working and this is a process. And Spirit is so thankful for one, the courage that you've shown. Spirit sees all that you've dealt with and all that you've taken through this actual journey. And it's been a lot. I can honestly say, because all of us have been going through that. But you survived and you're a winner. And you're courageous, and it's only strengthened you. And as such, Spirit is asking that you just be patient as you work through this healing process. Okay? And as you work through this healing process and that last cycle closes itself out, you'll come into this place of wholeness. You'll come into this place where you'll be able to make these feel comfortable, I should say, making sudden decisions in your life. Most recently, or most coming up, I should say, and forthcoming will be decisions that you'll be making as it pertains to partnerships and or love. Okay? And of course, where there will be options. All right? You'll be placed in position to have to make those decisions, but you'll feel confident doing it. You'll feel very confident doing after a very hard cycle, right? Because you will have healed from it. So Spirit is asking that you take it easy on yourself, take it easy. Don't be too cruel with yourself or too hard on yourself, because it was a process that was very difficult that you just came out of, a cycle. And now you're moving into something a little more easy, I should say, as you start those new beginnings. You start seeing your life coming back. You start seeing life coming back to you in your emotional bodies, and you start getting this comfort and ease in your life, right? So those are the messages we have for you today. And let's talk about how, with the astrological events that have come into play just recently and that will be forthcoming, how those will play into this message. So you do have a new moon in Libra coming up tomorrow. And with that new moon, you're going to want to bring in, of course, with new moons always, new beginnings, fresh and creative energy around your relationships, moving into a place of peace and harmony in them, right? Establishing a sense of order and balance in them, determining which are more valuable and how they are valuable to you, right? So this falls in line exactly with this message as we are talking here about these new beginnings that you're going to be having as Spirit heals you in your emotional and spiritual bodies, where you'll feel comfortable making decisions as it pertains to partnerships and or love, right? In your relationships. So it actually falls right in line with that. And as we move into the 1010 portal, which will allow you to really focus on your potential, that potential that's in you, that you'll need to, I guess, how do we say this? That you'll need to actually grow as you evolve. Those kinds of things will be coming forth for you as well. That said, we are in a Mercury retrograde, so you probably will have many people coming back into your life. Maybe there was strife that may have occurred, or there may have been problems or issues that occurred, or just they dropped out for some reason. You may see some folks returning back to your life during this period. And as such, this message falls in line where then you can then bring that harmony into those relationships, where you can then feel comfortable making decisions on those relationships and partnerships, and even in your romantic arena, right? So those are the messages we have for you, and wanted to make sure I provided that for you in the way that Spirit wanted you to know it. And also, I want to draw your attention to the question. The question is, what specifically is Spirit doing in your life to return you to wholeness in your emotional and spiritual bodies? That's the question for you to take into your meditations. And then the information that you receive from Spirit regarding your specific situation, couple that with what I have given you in this recording, and then combine those two things and integrate that information into your own unique journeys for your own expansion and growth. All right. So that's the message I have for you today. And I'm hoping that that resonated with you. And I'm hoping that this was a clear message for you. Thank you all so much for your patience with me today. I don't know, my tongue was all over the place and I couldn't seem to get my words out, but I'm so glad that you stuck in there with me, and appreciate all of you watching the message. All right. I look forward to seeing you next week. Make sure that you stay tuned for my messages that I post each week. And I want you to have a blessed week, and you take care until we see each other again.